You have one of these qualities in you. It's natural to you. You're kind of born with it. I don't care who you are or what your looks are, or whatever. You have one of these qualities. Because seduction isn't about beauty. It's about a kind of understanding human psychology.
In this video, we will uncover and understand the philosophical side of seduction. In the book of The Art of Seduction, we shall gain knowledge to avoid and detect when we are being manipulated and seduced. We might not notice the simple seduction in life, but it is all happening around us. So it is necessary to arm ourselves with seduction and manipulation itself. And by the end of this video, I hope that it will encourage you to read the whole book of The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, as this is only a detailed summary of the whole book. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Not all seduction is rooted in visual appearance. We all have the power of attraction, the potential power to draw people in and hold them in our control. It's about developing the ability to seduce people. A successful seduction begins with developing one's character. We'll be discussing about the 9 archetypes. Analyze yourself what you are most likely to be in the 9 archetypes. The Siren. What makes the siren so seductive? A siren is confident, the projection of male fantasy, a woman not easily owned. A man grows bored with a woman no matter how beautiful she is. He yearns for different pleasure and for adventure. It's not about beauty, but the ability to project one's fantasy. The siren represents an element of danger, a critical component for seduction. Her qualities include thrill, fantasy, and elusiveness. The siren's most instrument of power is her physical qualities, a high scent of femininity, a seductive clothing that hints with the erotic. It creates suggestion rather than vulgarity, a smile and an inviting look, creating an overall impression that is both distracting and alluring. For a siren, it's not a particular trait but a combination of qualities. The siren's voice. The manner of how you talk should be suggestive, not vulgar. A sexual insinuation that hints with the erotic. Never speak quickly, aggressively, or at a high pitch. A siren is unhurried and calm in speaking. Body in adornment. It must give the impression of the goddess effect. It must mesmerize, astonish, bewitching, but also be harmonious, not overplayed. A siren's clothing can hint the sexual overtly, but it must suggest it rather than scream it, stirring desire without being obvious. Movement and demeanor. A siren moves gracefully and her gestures must hint ambiguity, suggesting something both innocent and erotic. Something that is not immediately understood is supremely seductive. The siren operates well on rigid masculine type, the soldier or hero, for they represent saving, and what better seduction is there for them to save a troubled woman. Sirens also works well on intellectuals, for their life lacks thrill and danger. The rake, characterized as the male siren, a figure of female fantasy. Intense desire for a woman has a distracting effect on them. Brief though that moment may be, he will go to the ends of the earth for her. Such as a woman stimulates a man through their physicality, a man stimulates a woman through psychology. Ever saw a mid guy with a solid 10 woman? Yeah. Where the siren attracts with visual appearance, the rake attracts with linguistic sensuality. The rake is a master of language, communicative influence, and poetic verbiage. For a woman's weakness is through words and language, for their ability to suggest, insinuate, hypnotize, elevate, and infect. Consume a woman with your affection. Show no hesitation to abandon all restraints, to portray madly in love. Offer an affair of pure pleasure, to give yourself totally in love. Live for her, even only for a while. The Hellrake portrays as if he only lives for women. Offer pleasure for its own sake, a pure pleasure with no strings attached. From the time you crossed the rake's path, you were all he thought about. His intense desire for you was so powerful, making you unable to think of the consequence, and making you live in the moment and then vanish, making it seem like a dream. She might think you conquered 100 women before her, but better be abandoned than be undesired by such a man. This only adds up to your seductive power. For you to play this role effectively, you must convey a sense of danger and darkness, suggesting to your victim that she's participating into something that is rare. To display yourself uncontrollable for her, weak for her, that woman enjoys, making her feel as if she's the only one you truly loved. Important note: the main essence of the rake is that he goes further than anyone else. Danger and taboo appeals to the repressed side of the woman, who is supposed to represent a civilized and moralizing force in this culture yearning to be free of the constraints of virtue and decency. Do not imagine that women are the tender creatures that some people would like them to be. Like men, they are deeply attracted to the forbidden, the dangerous, even the slightly evil. The ideal lover is a role that takes effort to focus intensely on the other person, to study and know what they are missing. What they idealize as, people reveal it in subtle ways, on their actions that they themselves don't notice. A crack in the armor to see a glimpse of what they really want. By knowing what they lack, you'll provide what they are looking for. Study them, go along with their moods, find out what was missing in their life, then provide it. All people carry ideals, what we wish we could become. Few people can resist a person that seems to be attuned to their desires. The ability of bringing out their ideals is the prowess of the ideal lover, reflecting one's ideals and the projection of it. Observance to detail, but do not pay any attention to their words and conscious behavior, but focus on their gestures that gives them away, signs that betray them, ideals that they won't say. Adapt to their ideals. Often, the ideals we have are expressed in contradiction. The embodiment of the ideal lovers is a person who pays attention to the details. On every actions you take, it must show how much you think of that person. The way you hold them, the way you speak to them, it must be expressed only for that person. He or she must believe how much you think of them. Provide a better expression of feelings, not through words but through actions. Their ideals hint at something they aspire to be. Reveal your faith unto them, like you see some untapped potential in them. The ideal person is what we want to become and what we want for others. What better comfort is there than someone who brings out the best out of you and shows you how much they believe in you? The feminine dandy. Seduction will always be a woman's form of power and warfare. A man using this kind of weapon is in essence turning the game around. A dandy is an archetype that possesses the qualities of the opposite sex. A feminine dandy is a term used for a man with feminine qualities, without losing his masculine identity. And the more he subtly incorporates femininity in his characteristics, the more seductive he becomes. A feminine dandy lures by portraying a familiar presence, mirroring feminine psychology. A dandy pays attention to his appearance and details. The key in being a feminine dandy is ambiguity, going back and forth in both masculine and feminine. Adopt the best characteristic in both worlds, a man's independence and a woman's arousal capabilities. Never fully reveal yourself. Be passionate and sexual, but always retain an air of independence or self-possession, making them think that you have options or other matters that does not involve them. Employing feminine weapon on them will make them intrigued, aroused, and disarmed. A dandy is seductive because he or she does not conform on any social norms. If it is common, would it be seductive? No. A dandy is distinct in appearance and manner, for we are drawn to those people who flaunt their difference. A dandy does not only attract sexually but also socially, a wildly style that people imitate, making the crowd fall in love with them. Be striking and aesthetic, but never be vulgar. A dandy is uninterested to other people's opinion. For they understand that most people are insecure. Express yourself in total confidence, and they will imitate you. A dandy is recognized by his clothing, a unique visual style, but always remember the word subtle. A subtle femininity. Never try hard for attention. Attention comes to them naturally. Show difference on little touches, and thus the same goes for female dandies. She may adopt male clothing, but the little touches she does will set her apart from the others. But a dandy goes beyond to their appearances. It is the attitude towards life that sets them apart. Please a woman by displeasing them. A dandy makes every detail of life a grand aesthetic adventure. From a feast to a simple conversation, the key is to be confident and be sure of your taste. An aesthetic choice, elevating boredom by making life an art. The natural. The natural embodies the lost qualities when we were a child. Spontaneity, sincerity, and unpretentiousness. There are many types of naturals. This includes the innocent. The quality of innocence, weakness, and misunderstanding the world. They act as they see the world through an innocent eyes, which in adult find it humorous. The imps. The imp's playfulness. To be playful in a sense to be free momentarily, disregarding the binding necessities which chains us, such as morals, livelihood, and community life. The binding necessities that do not permit us to shape the world as we please. But however, what we truly desire is to create a world for us, where we can move freely and even in the slightest degree, regain the lost confidence when we were a child, back when we are not repulsed by fear and defensiveness. The wonder. A wonder child where they have inexplicable talent, a prodigal skill in a field which they partake. The adult wonders manage to retain this ability, even if you have to fake it, which in reality, the skill requires practice. You must learn to hide it, make it seem easy, effortless, and natural. The undefensive lover. As we get older, we protect ourselves from painful experience by closing us off, making us grow resistant in life experiences, both physically and mentally. We lost the qualities where we are open to the experience, learn to be unafraid of love, and to be open again in new experiences. For this quality will prove seductive in the face of your target. The coquette. Of all the archetypes, the coquette is most likely to lead a man or woman to its ruin. The emotional detachment and self-sufficiency it brings will drive them crazy. They appear self-sufficient, as if they don't need you, and this narcissism is supremely seductive. Delaying pleasure is the ultimate form of seduction. Coquettes are masters of anticipation, orchestrating a constant dance of hope and frustration. Coquettes are masters of excitement. They are both hot and cold. They come and they go. They entice you with hopeful words and sensual moves, then suddenly withdraw and distance themselves from you. They both tempt us and frustrate us, and we're drawn to them because it's human nature to want what we can't have. People are perverse by nature. An easy conquest is less valuable than a difficult one. We are only truly excited by what is denied to us, by what we cannot fully possess. The ability to tease, insinuate, to plant a seed of desire that continues to grow without being at present. The strategy of the coquette is to never offer total satisfaction. Your greatest seductive power is your ability to turn away, causing others to chase after you. Delaying their satisfaction creates space by remaining elusive and making others pursue you. The coquette's coolness suggests a comfortable confidence that is exciting to be around. Even though it may not actually exist, their silence makes you wanna talk. Their self-containment, their appearance of having no need for others. Remember that the essence of the coquette is not the tease and temptation, but rather the subsequent step back. Send contradictory signals that stimulates contradictory responses, plunging the victim into confusion. Overt flirting will expose your true intentions. It's better to be ambiguous and even contradictory, frustrating and stimulating at the same time. Self-esteem is critical in seduction. Your attitude toward yourself is read by the other person in subtle and unconscious ways. Low self-esteem repels, but confidence and self-sufficiency attracts. The less you seem to need other people, the more likely other people will be drawn to you. The charmer. A manipulation without lust. The method of a charmer is simple. Deflect attention from yourself and focus it on the subject of interest, the target. Make them feel like they're the star, and they'll become addicted and grow dependent on you. Show them that you understand their spirit, that you feel their pain, and adapt to their moods. In essence, make them feel better about themselves. On a mass level of seduction, charmers shows that they feel your pain and shows gestures of concern or self-sacrifice. No matter how fake, show the public that you share their pain and that you are working for their best interests. To become a charmer is to become a source of pleasure. No one really wants to hear about your own problems and troubles, but listen to your target's complaint. But more importantly, divert their attention away from their problems by providing them with source of pleasure. Don't be too serious. It's always more charming to be lighthearted and fun than being serious and critical. An energetic presence is likewise more charming than lethargy. Enchant your victims into ease and comfort around you. The key to making your victims feel at ease is to mimic and adapt to their moods. People are narcissists. We are attracted to those who are similar to ourselves. What makes a charmer so seductive? First, they don't talk about themselves, which heightens their mystery and disguises their limitations. Second, charmers seems to be so interested in us that their presence is so delightfully focused on us that we relax around them. And lastly, charmers are pleasant to be around, for they do not show the ugly qualities of a person, complaining, criticizing, self-assertion, or promoting oneself. The charismatic. They possess qualities that most people lack and desire, such as self-confidence, sexual energy, a sense of purpose, and contentment. A quality that can be felt by everyone. It radiates outward without the appearance of conscious effort. Qualities that creates the illusion of charisma, enhancing one's aura. Have purpose, a direction in life, and act like you know what you're doing. Mystery. In a sense of being unpredictable, it makes people classify you as not just an ordinary person, because most people are predictable. Saintliness. Stand firm on your ideals, never compromise your belief and the vision for yourself. Eloquence. A way with words, the power it holds. Speak as if you feel the word you're speaking, as the audience feels likewise. Theatricality. Study and learn how to carry yourself. In a stage, learn how to command attention to your audience. Uninhibitedness. Free of constraints. Express their opinion and feelings openly and behave as they want to, without worrying what other people think. Fervency. You need to believe in something, and to believe in it strongly. Believe in yourself and what you can do. Vulnerability. Rather than identifying it as a weakness, identify it as a strength. It allows us to be true to ourselves rather than trying to please others. We develop empathy through vulnerability. Adventurousness. Be bold and courageous in your actions. Show that you are willing to take risks for the sake of others. Magnetism. The eyes are the most important physical features in seduction. They convey excitement, tension, and detachment without saying anything. Charismatic may appear poised and calm, but their eyes are magnetic. They have a piercing gaze that disturbs the emotion of their targets, exerting force without words or actions. As charisma may appear like a God-given gift, it is acquirable, practicable, the power of success through enhancing one's aura, portraying and being fulfilled in oneself. But the less obvious you are, the better. Rather than hearing it from you, let people conclude that you are happy. Allow them to see it in your relaxed demeanor, gentle smile, and a sense of ease and comfort. The star. Stars are the most enigmatic type of seducer. They allure people by promising an escape from life's difficulties. They make promises of fantasies and dreams. Stars, in addition of ensuring the world, ensure that they are hazy and ethereal. They keep their distance, and rather than giving people what they want to see, they let them imagine it. They develop a distinctive style and have a serene, alluring demeanor. Allow people to identify you without having the ability to touch you. They can only observe and fantasize. A star has a large presence. You must have a distinct style or presence that sets you apart from the crowd. Develop a blank, mysterious face. Allow people to read whatever they want into you, as they can only imagine your character by being mysterious. People are naturally curious. Learn to steer their curiosity by letting them glimpse of your private life or an element of your personality. Let them fantasize and imagine. Everyone is a public performer. People never know exactly what you think or feel. They judge you on your appearance and how you act. Analyze yourself. Which are you among these archetypes? Cultivate it and combine it with the other qualities of the 9 archetypes that you like. After all, seduction is a combination of desirable qualities.